Hey dumplings, it's Dave Desai. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to get into Jungkook and his reaction, or what people believe is his reaction to Jin leaving and possibly going to the military. I have a lot of thoughts on the topic of the military, especially with them doing what they did at the UN. So there's a lot to talk about. I also want to get into why people have been very upset the past few days and are leaving the fandom. So let's talk about all that. So grab your dumpling, tea spilling mug merch, and let's jump into the tea. If you're new here and you're interested in this type of stuff, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified and some new video drops. And if you're a hater, like to be first to leave your hate comment, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell also, and you'll be first to do so. Now let's jump into it. The first thing I want to get into today was just Jin leaving to go to the military. Since it was announced that BTS was going to be meeting the president and doing the whole thing, there have been a lot of questions as if Jin will actually be enlisting still if he now has the exemption. This also comes at a time where just last year, the ending of 2020, Jin was allowed an extension and did not have to enlist right away, was given a little bit more time, but not a full exemption. If you want to know more about this, it's called the BTS law, and it allows people who have achieved the cultural merit badge to get this extension. And they are one of the youngest people to receive the badge, since usually you need like 15 years in the industry to get it. The people are usually like at 60 years old before they get this badge. But a lot of people were thinking, since they are also one of the only K-pop groups to go to the UN and perform and do their speech, people were thinking maybe this would qualify for an entire exemption for the military, not just a postponement. The only people who are allowed to not go are professional athletes, or if you have a specific medical condition. As of right now, no law has been introduced to say that if you won this UN award, you are fully exempt. Keep in mind, it is still fair because the president's son probably wasn't even exempt from going. So it is something that everyone has to do, and the law is pretty strict about that. And if the law does change and allow someone like BTS, who has this many accomplishments, to not go, there would be tremendous backlash. There was so much backlash allegedly from the top labels when even just the BTS law passed. They were saying things like that law is unfair because no other idol would be able to receive a cultural merit badge before the age they need to enlist. They would need to debut at like 12 or 13 and win several awards among many other issues. Thing is, the law wasn't created in hopes of exempting idols, but in hopes of just pushing back BTS's enlistment. The law was made specifically just for BTS. They didn't care about the other idols not enlisting. So if there was a law that was implemented over the UN thing, there would be even bigger backlash and even more people upset. The last thing BTS wants to do is upset people, so the options are there. They enlist and either be forgotten or take a break for a few years and lose their momentum here in the US and possibly lose their audience, or they don't enlist and lose the entirety of their fandom in Korea. Or the last option is they enlist one by one and each member will have the option to do some solo work. I have a feeling that they are trying to do the latter, and I think they will have Jin enlist first. Other people were saying that BTS is already serving their country. Obviously, why would they need to enlist? There's so few people that have ever been exempt. It just doesn't happen, and the only reason they exempt athletes is because they believe medically these athletes' bodies are unusable due to their rigorous activities. It has nothing to do with the fact that athletes represent and serve their country already. There were some photos that resurfaced recently that made people believe Jungkook was trying to hold on to Jin and sad that Jin might be leaving for the military. Recently, a photo of them all together surfaced and people zoomed in on Jin and Jungkook, only to find that Jungkook was holding on to Jin's hand really tight. Other moments where Jungkook is holding Jin's shoulder and pointing to the camera, it appears that Jungkook is saying, "I'm watching you, don't touch him." And there's other moments where he squeezes Jin, and even moments where they hugged each other a little naked. These photos were often captioned and tweeted out on the Tweetster saying, "Someone please tell Jungkook that there is no one taking his Jin Hyung away from him." And others believe that Jungkook is just being really sad and trying to hold Jin as much as possible before he leaves for the military, which actually might be the beginning or the middle of next year. I kind of feel like this is why they haven't put out a full album or anything like that yet, and that all the members have been talking so much about a solo mixtape, except Jin. They are likely all working on that and trying to make that happen and not really creating too much work as all seven. And I can understand that, because if they created something like that and then the next year is right around the corner, they'd have to tour with 6 boys, and it would just be, for example, I couldn't imagine them doing the tour without Suga. I mean, the performances they did looked a little off to me, and imagine having literally endless amounts of footage and fan cams of performances without Suga in them. Should they have toured then? They were obviously trying to minimize the amount of footage that would exist exist without Suga in it, and it wouldn't feel right to have so much footage without Jin in the videos. When people look back at BTS many years from now, they'll see footage without members here and there, and it would just look weird. Of course, people would find out why, but they are always about being 7, and they want to be known by 7. I don't know if this is even something they thought about, but it's something I think about a lot, and obviously I want them to be happy. I think them going ahead and doing a lot more solo work is definitely very smart, and then they can have a reunion and a few years from now when everyone is all back, if they want to do that. I do think the music will be different, and no doubt they will be a lot more serious, because after you enlist, you're formally known as a man in South Korea, which is totally understandable, right? Like, you serve your country and then you're a man. The past few days have been a wild ride for BTS. I do believe My Universe dropped while they were still reeling from the UN experience, and there were obviously a lot of people talking about that, and they probably still haven't gotten a huge chance to take in what it is they just did and how big of a thing they just did. When your life is go, 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 it becomes very difficult to understand the full gravity of everything that was just done. You just do whatever you're told to do, and you try to do it your best. You have 0.2 seconds to react to the thing you did, maybe reflect for like 5 minutes before going to bed, but probably too tired to even want to think about anything and just fall right asleep. They had the My Universe drop and the UN performance and speech, all of this while they were jet lagged. This all probably felt like one big dream for them. Not a metaphorical dream, but like it was probably all hazy for them, and maybe they don't even remember a lot of it. Of course, I personally hope that they did not spend too much time online, as the support was great, but the negativity was a lot as well. There was allegedly a lot of hate thrown towards BTS over this idea that people did not want to stand BTS anymore, saying BTS is so political now and not liking that. It never makes sense, because I feel like people like to support the new up-and-coming person, but once they reach a point where they're super successful, then that same person will try to tear them down. We created this person that you see on TV or everywhere, you know? We made them famous by talking about them, and then get upset when they acknowledge that they're famous and have power. We should be happy for them. I get why people would be upset, but we shouldn't be. And by the way, BTS has never abused that power, so we shouldn't be upset. We should be more happy that they have this power and platform, because they'll use it for good. Going back to BTS being political is nothing new in the realm of K-pop. K-pop is very political, and if you're just realizing that now, then that's on you. There's nothing that exists in the world that isn't political. There isn't. Everything that exists has laws and problems around it. Name something, and I will say how it affects the world politically. An apple. Well, there's so many ways to go about it. The farmer who grew it and they getting the proper land, the economics of an apple and how it affects poor people in impoverished neighborhoods to be able to get fresh foods. Everything is political. You're not getting away from that. There's also so many people who talk about racism in K-pop. People were saying things like this and then deciding that they no longer wanted to be a part of the fandom and support the boys. This makes no sense to me, as if they were your favorite group and you liked their lyrics, which are sometimes political, and you liked that they had few songs in America, which is political, then you should be happy that they are now using that platform to try to change the world for the better. As many have said, and have said over the tweets there, if you unstand over this, you were obviously never a stan to begin with and didn't really care about BTS' success. For example, what if one of the members decides to run for politics one day? They would need your vote more than ever. And if some of these people decide that they won't support the member anymore just because it's politics, not even looking at their policies, then that is not a fan. That is someone that just wanted a doll to play with. I support the boys no matter what they do. This includes no matter what they do. No exceptions, maybe murder. That's the exception. Kids don't murder. You'll lose your clout and career. Not worth it. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your thoughts are. Leave it in the comment section down below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'm featuring this comment right here. Thank you so much for leaving a comment. And as always, I do have a Patreon if you want to go over there and check that out. I have live videos over there that I can't really post on here. This is due to copyright or getting taken down, so I do keep it over there on my Patreon. You can get videos over there like music video reactions, performance reactions, ship reactions. You can also recommend things you would like to see over there. We do have a great time interacting and having fun over there, so if you're interested in any of that, with over 400 videos that are already up on there, link is in the top description down below. There's also a video over there that kind of goes over how you can support this channel even more if you would like to do that. That video's on the front page and it's free to watch. With that said, there's 2 videos that will appear up on screen at the end of this video, so click on one of those and I'll see you over there. Bye.